Dear Diary,
Dear Diary,
here is a visual representation of my emotions right now.
here's a visual representation of my emotions right now.
It's a drawing of a blender.
It's a drawing of a blender.
And inside,
And inside,
black lump
a black clump
is spinning
is spinning
in circles.
in circles.
Looking back,
Looking back,
it makes me sad.
this makes me sad.
I drew it when I was in elementary school,
I drew it when I was in elementary school,
and it's the first time I can remember
and it's the first time I can remember
not having the words to express my emotions.
not having the words to express my emotions.
5 years later, I would find myself sitting
5 years later, I would find myself sitting
cross-legged on the
cross-legged on the floor
floor of a middle school
of a middle school classroom,
talking with a friend I
talking with a friend I didn't
know very well.
know very well.
She would tell me about self-harm.
She would tell me about self-harm.
She would tell me where she cut herself,
She would tell me where she cut herself,
so her parents didn't see.
so her parents didn't see.
It was devastating
It was devastating
and heartbreaking.
and heartbreaking,
And I laughed
and I laughed
because once again,
I
didn't have the words
I didn't have the words
to talk about my mental health
to talk about my mental health
and the mental health of the
and the mental health of the people
I cared about.
I cared about.
I'm a junior in high school
I'm a junior in high school now,
and I have watched as friends
and I have watched as friends
have battled with
have battled with
anxiety and
anxiety
depression.
and depression.
I've had friends drop out of high school.
I've had friends drop out of high school.
I've had friends attempt suicide.
I've had friends attempt suicide.
It's heartbreaking
It's heartbreaking
because mental health issues
because mental health issues
are something other people have
are something other people have
until it's the people you love.
until it's the people you love.
And our students are not
And our students are not
being prepared
being prepared
for addressing these issues.
for addressing these issues.
In fact, my generation
In fact, my generation
has some of the highest suicide rates
has some of the highest suicide rates
since World War II.
since World War II.
1 in 3 students reports persistent
1 in 3 students report persistent
feelings of sadness or
feelings of sadness
hopelessness,
or helplessness,
according to a 2019 study,
according to a 2019 study,
which was up 40%
which was up 40% from
2009.
2009.
My generation is struggling,
My generation is struggling,
but we already knew that.
but we already knew that.
See, it's not like we're doing nothing about
See, it's not like we're doing nothing about
these statistics.
these statistics.
In fact, we're seeing the schools across
In fact, we're seeing school crews,
the nation hire
the nation hire more
school therapists.
We are seeing
third-party organizations
third-party organizations
and state political parties
and state political parties
introducing programs to get free
introducing programs to get free
counseling sessions for youth.
counseling sessions for youth.
We are making changes and
We are making changes and
it's not enough
it's not enough
because our mental health supports
because our mental health supports
are not accessible
are not accessible to all
youth.
youth.
When a student wants to get mental health
When our students want to get mental health
aid in their
aid in their
classroom
or
or in their school,
in the school,
they have to leave class.
they have to leave class.
They have to make up that schoolwork
They have to make up that schoolwork
or stay after school or come
or stay after school, come before
before school and
for school
arrange rides
and arrange rides
with parents who might not
with parents who might not
be able to provide
be
them
able to provide them
if their work days don't accommodate
if their work days don't accommodate
for that.
for that.
And students are expected
And students are expected
to advocate for their own mental health
to advocate for their own mental health
when they have never had to do so
when they have never had to do
before.
so before.
It's a lot to ask, and it
It's a lot to ask and
results in
results in
students not getting
students not getting
help
help
until they are actively
until they are actively
in crisis.
in a crisis.
We are not taking a preventative
We are not taking a preventative
approach to our mental
approach to our mental health
health services,
services,
and it's hurting kids.
and it's hurting kids.
We need mental health integration
We need mental health integration
in the classroom.
in the classroom.
And the coolest thing
And the coolest thing
is that it's not that hard.
is that it's not that hard.
Studies show, for instance,
Studies show, for instance,
when students can write
when students can write
essays
essays
that break down complicated feelings
that break down complicated feelings
or circumstances that
or
they
circumstances
may be encountering at home,
that they may be encountering at
they
home.
are able to better analyze
They are able to better analyze
process their own thoughts,
and process their own thoughts,
which can result in healthier
which can result in healthier emotional regulation.
in science.
In science,
We can be teaching about neurochemistry,
we can be teaching about neurochemistry,
the way our brains work.
the way our brains work.
Right now,
Right
we're
now,
keeping conversations
we are keeping conversations
about how our own
about how our own minds work,
locked behind the doors
locked behind the doors
of a counselor's office.
of a counselor's office,
When we could be teaching
when we could be teaching
them
them in science classes.
We
We need to understand
how
how we feel the way we do and why our emotions work that way, and it can help students better process
and
and understand
complex feelings.
complex feelings.
This high school
This high school
and school is a stressful
and schools is a stressful
time for kids.
time for kids.
When you're stepping into your own
When you're stepping into your own
and
and
figuring
figuring
who you
out who you are,
that can be difficult.
that can be difficult.
And by integrating
And by integrating
education on
education
mental health into the
on mental health
classroom,
into the classroom,
we are providing students
we are providing students
with the resources they need to navigate
with the resources they need to navigate
this complex time.
this complex time.
But integration is the key word here.
But integration is the key word here.
I've been a part a number of classes
I've been a part of a number of classes
where counselors have tried to
where counselors have tried
offer this support.
to offer this support.
So they slip it in
So they slip it in
on the side.
on the side.
They take students seminars,
They take student seminar
study hall periods,
or study hall periods.
times that we've been
Times that we've been
guaranteed
guaranteed
time to connect with friends,
time to connect with friends,
work on homework,
work on homework,
catch up in classes,
catch up in classes,
and replaced it
and replaced it
with discussions about mental health.
with discussion about mental health.
When we set up our mental health
When we set up our mental health
resources
resources
in this way,
in this way,
it becomes a punishment.
it becomes a punishment.
Students are losing time that
Students are losing time
they need to get
that they need
other things
to
done.
get other things done,
And it creates a negative
and it creates a negative
relationship
with mental health
that they may take with them
that they may take with them
the rest of their lives.
for the rest of their lives.
We're making counselors sound like some
We're making counselors sound like some
scary third party.
scary third party.
Somebody that you only go to
Somebody you only go
if you're
to if you're
damaged.
damaged.
When we all encounter adversity, we
When we all encounter adversity,
all need that support.
we all need that support.
And it only makes sense to put it
And it only makes sense to put it
into a regular
into a regular
classroom
classroom setting.
I know that this integration
I know that this integration
will make mental health
will make mental health
less taboo
less taboo
and will empower
and will empower
our students to advocate
students to advocate
for their own mental
for
health.
their own mental health.
Because
Because
when it's no longer
when it's not longer
some scary concept,
some scary concept,
when our advertisements
when our
about mental health
advertisements about
are more
mental health are more
than the inspirational
than in the inspirational
posters in our high school
posters in our high school
hallways,
hallways.
we are letting students know
We are letting students know
that we all struggle sometimes,
that we all struggle sometimes, and
and we are making those resources that we're
we are making these resources with that
investing in.
we're investing in
School counselors in the office,
school counselors in the office
or therapy outside of school,
or therapist at the school
more accessible.
more accessible.
This is a change that we need
This is a chance that we need
to benefit our students
to benefit our students
and preserve a future
and
where
preserve a
mental
future
wellness is
where
a
mental
priority. Thank you.
where and preserve future where mental wellness is a priority. Thank you.